Hi, how are you? It's very cold and snowing in New York. I'm on my way to California soon and looking forward to spending some time at the center. We have a course going on called The Weekend Within, and I'm looking forward to teaching it. Before I start on today's topic, I just want to remind you that my book with Rudy Tanzi called The Healing Self, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immunity and stay well for life, is coming out on January 30th. And I want to thank you for your support as always. Now, I know that some people are concerned that I promote my books. It sounds too commercial. But let me tell you that every author writes book with the intention that and the hope that it will be read. Every author. I don't know of any author who doesn't want his or her book to be read. Moreover, publishers give you contracts only if the books can be sold. For 35 years or so, I have made my living selling words. And so for those of you who are offended by my promoting my books and courses and seminars, I apologize, and you can, of course, choose not to read the books or come to the courses. That's your prerogative. But I hope I've made my position clear. Also, I'd like all of you to please. Pam Butler says, "Can't wait for my copy." Thank you, Pam, and I know Pam has a book coming out too very soon, or is it maybe just out? Okay, so. I also want to encourage you to download our app, Jayo. Share your story, personal story of transformation and healing, if you want to. On jayo.com, there's a section called My Story. The app is a curated app curated by me with about 25 experts in the area of healing and meditation and yoga and breathing and how lifestyle influences our health and well-being. Okay, so much for the commercials. Now I'm going to talk about something very important. Thank you, Jeannie. She says, I love Jayo. Masood says, I downloaded it. Thank you. Cindy says, never apologize for promoting your work. Yeah, I'm only apologizing to those who are offended. Okay, now I am ready to talk about this very important topic. And that is how the human mind created the physical universe and why your true nature is neither mind nor body. Okay, so this is very important. And I am going to go straight through without taking a break on this important topic. And I have to say that, since we communicate through words, there's always a risk that words can be misinterpreted. I said interpreted. Words can be misinterpreted. But there's some common agreement on how words are used, and that's what we call a dictionary. So, every word that I use is words that human beings generally agree on as descriptions of our experiences. But it's difficult when you use words to explain what we call ultimate reality. But I'm going to try nevertheless. And actually, this morning before I decided to come here to speak to you, I made some notes, and there's a paragraph that I'm going to read to you from my notes. And I'm going to read this paragraph a few times, okay? Because if you really want to understand what I'm saying today, then you must understand this paragraph. And if you want to read this paragraph or listen to what I'm saying very carefully, I might even actually post the paragraph underneath this video so you can read it very carefully, because everything I'm saying is contained in this paragraph only. And if you understand this paragraph, then you and I have communed. Not even connected, we have communed. Okay, so I'm going to read the paragraph now that I wrote for you this morning. And here it is. Matter is the reification of sensations or sensory experiences. Repeat. Matter is the reification of sensations or sensory experiences. So you can now look up the meaning of reify or reification in the dictionary, and this is what the definition of reify is. Make something that is abstract more concrete or real. So once again, reify as a verb is a verb, and reification is the noun. To reify is to make something that is abstract more concrete or real. So now I'll repeat my first sentence. Matter is the reification of sensations or sensory experiences. The mind takes the raw experience of sensations and invents the idea of otherness or thingness. I'll spell the word, please. Reify. R-E-I-F-I. Sorry, R-E-I-F-Y. Reify. Reification. So want to proceed with this paragraph. The mind takes the raw experience of sensations and invents the idea of otherness or thingness to that experience, which is a sensation. Okay. The idea of matter takes the intimate experience which you're having, and that experience is just sensations. Just sensations. The sensation that we call color, the sensation that we call form, the sensation that we call shape, the sensation that we call these sensations, we have to use words. So the sensation that we call color, the sensation that we call form, the sensation that we call taste, the sensation that we call sound or noise, the sensation that we call smell, and the sensation that we just call sensation. Okay? So the idea of matter takes an intimate experience, which is just sensations. That's all you experience. And then conceives a separate subject and a separate independent object called matter. The word matter is a label to the conception of a separate object independent of the experience that we call sensation. So, once this is done, once the subject-object split is created and is accepted, then the notion of space-time and causality arise. Then these constructs are recycled by other constructs that humans have come up with in the same way, called genetics, epigenetics, environment. Okay. All constructs, the first raw experience is sensations. That's it. But then the interpretation of the sensations as an independent subject called the body-mind and an independent object called matter as a construct. And then constructs based on those constructs, genetics, epigenetics, environment, and so now another construct, person. That which humans call a person is a recycling of these sensations, which we call qualia, and this recycling is literally a recycling and reshuffling of qualia over centuries of human experience. And so the constructs of I as a person and the world as an object or made up of objects in a theater called space-time and causality is now created. And it's amazing because that which we call the human mind is just the interpretation of raw experience, sensations. That which we call the human mind is just the interpretation of raw experience, which is sensations. And if you want to know the true nature of reality, then you have to, first of all, liberate yourself, awaken yourself, and the first step is stop identifying with the construct that you are a person. Stop identifying with the construct that you're a person, because that which we call a person is a process, conceived, constructed, governed, and coming into existence in the way I've just explained. I hope this makes sense. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Katie says, difficult. Yes, difficult. Because you never thought of it. You never thought of it. We have been bamboozled into a personal identity the moment you're born. So, short while after you're born and you are an aware being that is enmeshed in a psychedelic experience of sensations, images, very gooey, messy, color, form, taste, smell, shape, sound, a conscious awareness bathed in its own excitations, a gooey mess of color, shape, form, sensations, images, tastes, smells, and then you're indoctrinated to the idea that you have a personal identity called a person. So I was told, your name is Deepak. And then I was told that I was what humans refer to as a male. I was also told that I was Indian. I was told that my father was a cardiologist and quite successful and well known. I was told that I came from an upper middle class family. So that initial conditioning, which went back centuries of recycling, created a construct called a person by the name of Deepak Chopra. Okay? And then the rest of the life is spent in defending, refining, labeling, and building on that construct. Building on that construct. So that we end up with the idea, I am a person, and that is the universe. And what is the person? I am a body-mind. But the body-mind is itself a story for raw experience. Period. There is raw experience, and then there is the conceptualizing of that experience into constructs that we call mind, body, universe. Okay. So I don't want to keep this too long, but what is liberation? Liberation or awakening is to enjoy the experience created by these constructs, because after all, it is the human experience. And science is a wonderful adventure with these constructs. A wonderful adventure because by reifying abstract sensations and creating technology and labeling certain experiences as mind, body, earth, moon, sun, stars, planets, galaxies, atoms, and force fields, we have created the technology that is allowing this being to communicate with myself, but I call it other beings. Me and the other, in reality, is the same awareness. Aurora says, has Michael Shermer understood this? No, not yet, but everybody takes their time. Okay. Somebody asked about Sam Harris, and yes, I'm doing a podcast with Sam Harris in the near future. At least that's my understanding. Okay, so here we are. Mind, body, and universe are the reification of sensations. Period. So I'm going to repeat the paragraph that I wrote down, and I probably will write it down underneath this video so you can read it over again if you're interested. You may not be interested, but if you are interested in understanding the nature of reality, that which we call the true self, then it is the awareness in which all experience happens. All is known, all is labeled, and it is how awareness transforms itself into the human experience that we call mind, body, and universe. Okay, I will write it. And finally, I'm going to repeat the paragraph that I wrote down for you this morning. Matter is the reification of sensations or sensory experiences. The mind takes the raw experience of sensations and invents the idea of otherness and thingness to it. The idea of matter takes what is an intimate experience, which is just sensations, and conceives a separate subject and a separate independent object called matter. Once the subject-object split has occurred and is accepted, then arise the notions of space-time and causality. They are notions, conceived. These constructs are then recycled by other constructs called genetics, epigenetics, environment, etc. That which humans refer to as a person is a recycling of qualia. Qualia are sensations and their human constructs. Liberation or awakening involves not identifying with the process while enjoying it, not identifying with the process, including the process called a person, and awakening into true nature, which is the source of all experience. There is existence and there is awareness of existence, which is a modified form of existence. The rest is our story. By deconstructing the story, you have the possibility to create other stories. If you understand this experience that you're having right now, you will understand all experiences, including experiences that humans have called out-of-body experiences, heavens, hells, purgatories, and this world. Thank you, and I will make sure I post the paragraph. Thank you once again.